You are watching a master at work.
This shit called drone. Here we go.
Smoking, watching movie, joking with the young and goofy. Scrolling through his phone and seen a Cuban link that's worn by Gucci. Fascinated by gangsta shit and trying to get rich or fake it like you got it. So everyone double tap his pick. Deposit and fake reality for salary, non-negotiable. Overdosing on sociable, quotable. So the locals know that his chain is a movie. That his bitches is bougie. That his activist leaning. That he really unruly. 27 with pocket money and 4 world rats. Ain't punching clocks, but punctuation on where the plug at. Dry snitching and fishing for likes with frequent visits. Posting pictures with burners for stripes and recognition. Flexing with 4 bands, he smiled for the cameraman. Then Instagram his location, his followers tapping in. 3 enemies waiting, 1 bullet, 1 mask. Got his fucking brains blown out over 2 hashtags, you know.
May not always be enough. I don't need you so bad. They not always getting mine. I don't need you so bad.
What's going on, good people? It's the mob, not the wow. We back in here for another one. Happy Friday. Made it another week. A lot going on. Hit that like button on the way in. Subscribe to the channel if you ain't already. You about to talk some shit. T Grizzley. T Grizzley. That's the one. Man. Nah. Free shooter. Free baby shooter. I know that may sound free a nigga named Shooter, but nah, free shooter. Al Sharpton has finally come clean about what we've known for years, but you know, I wanna put some paint where it ain't, man. I don't condone government cooperation, any of that type of shit. However, I just want to highlight some nuance where it relates to the FBI and the mob, and how Al Sharpton even comes into that shit. There's some interesting facts about that. And we gotta talk about this Trump administration. I've avoided it. It ain't that I've avoided it. I assume, I figure motherfuckers don't want to hear about that shit. But I'm doing everybody a disservice if I don't at least, for my channel, I'm doing everybody a disservice by not saying what I see. Because a lot of people ain't tuned in, don't give a fuck. Or what they do tune into is one side of it, and they have a biased perspective on what's going on. There's bullshit going on, to be clear. But we're gonna talk about that as well. I seen some shit. I just don't know if I don't want to way too heavy on it, man. I got at whack all week this week. There is something where he done came out as Flacco's OG. I don't know. Maybe we'll react to it. Maybe I'll just direct y'all over there. But the primary discussion today is gonna be the unfunny situation going on with T Grizzley. Talking about this Al Sharpton situation, this Trump administration. I ain't really got enough thoughts on that Kevin McCall shit to really speak on it. What I will say is the same thing I said that day, is I can't stand an emotional drunk. Don't you come over here and drink my good ass liquor and turn around and start crying and shit, talking about woe is me. Man, woe is me, goddamn. Drown in your sorrows, and don't do that shit over here. If motherfuckers ate that shit up, then the truth came out. But like I said, I'm not here to laugh at nobody's pain. And I feel like there's some lovers quarrel aspects to that shit as well. So like I say, man, that ain't nothing I really won't even get too deep into. I mean, if anything, it may be worth paying attention to how Back on Fig done playing that situation, but that ain't what we here to do either. But all that being said, and Bucci Bell Brown, I think if we got enough time, Bucci Bell Brown, he ain't I ain't gonna say it, but if we got enough time at the end of this, we're gonna go look at a few clips, because there's a stark contrast in how he gets at women like Tam and how he gets at men like Munchie B or Aunt Hefe. And if we got enough time, I'm gonna go over there and look at that. We're gonna go over there and look at that and kind of point out a few things. But with all that being said, let's go. Give me a couple minutes. We're gonna get started with this T Grizzley shit. Ryler, what it do? Alright, y'all. Let's go. So, damn, I thought that was gonna stay where it was supposed to. But so, Shooter Gang, a Baby Shooter. If y'all not familiar with Baby Shooter, make sure that went over right. Yeah, if y'all not familiar with Baby Shooter, last year, maybe 2 years ago, it was on Back on Fig. He got some good music, makes some quality music. He's all from over there out of, well, I'm not even gonna do that. You see it in his name where he's from, but that's irrelevant. So he was accused of breaking in T Grizzley's home. If y'all don't remember, a couple years ago, somebody broke in T Grizzley's house and stole reportedly $1 million worth of money and merchandise. Well, word got around and T Grizzley was putting money in the streets on people's heads and this and that. Allegedly. These are all alleged statements. And money talks. And from that, he got some names. And one of the names he got was Baby Shooter. And allegedly how the story goes is Baby Shooter, they get Baby Shooter's mother's address and they track him down and they It's money on your head. We don't know if somebody put you up to it or what. So we're gonna give you a chance to explain your side of it. Now, it seemed that's what I mean. It's a lot for a motherfucker to be pulled onto an Instagram live call to have to explain themselves. That don't sound like no street shit to me. And I remember when that happened, and I was thinking, well, this is I guess it's the new age or something. But hindsight reflects exactly what my concerns was. You had this man, y'all, under the pretense that you was gonna kill the man, or something street was gonna happen. You got this man's address, you used your team and all this stuff to do all that, but it turns out all of this was in the advancement of a police investigation. Without ranting and rambling too long, let's get into the video, and we're gonna watch right here where they finally get a hold of a baby shooter on the IG call, and then from here we're gonna go look at what's come from that. Let's go.
Anyone that be getting to the money, yeah.
You gonna commentate?
No, shout out to Jefe for this is what we watching the clip from, because it's milked and already pulled it off his channel. I can't find it no more. Let's go.
Not the fat D-Mac, well, not the fat D-Mac. His name D-Mac though. It's not the fat one though. I know the skinny one that be getting to the money. Yeah. The Sharpton one that be. Yeah. That's the other nigga. That's the other little nigga. It's like 4 or 5 in it on that shit beside the other nigga. Besides the nigga that I sent y'all that put the whole play together. That fuck with them niggas. Well, crew, bro. You feel me? You ain't hear this from me, bro. You ain't hear this from me, all right?
Yeah, you ain't got.
Thing is, this whole video, when this came out, that was an open investigation, and this video was on the internet to be reacted to. At least, like I say, this was at least a year ago, probably even 2. I can't remember. I don't want to put. Well, when we get to the paperwork, we'll slow it down and look at the times. We'll have some confirmations there. But this never even should have made it to the internet. By the time this made it to the internet, that should have been the telltale sign that this was some. I ain't peep it. This was an advancement of a police investigation. This is. Well, I ain't gonna lie. At this time, I wasn't even aware of open source reporting like I am now. But with that being said, let's go.
Don't worry about that. All right.
It's Nate. It's my cousin from schoolyard, bro. Boom. Mexican niggas from Great and 2 niggas from Boom. They all get money together. They all fuck around, kicking around. You feel me? Boom. Them niggas that's press play on. You feel me?
Yeah.
Now them niggas, they jeweler. They want to fuck with her. They see all the face. They see the face. They like, oh, is that ain't we ain't fuck with it? Ooh. They like, shoot, you don't know. You feel me? I know your jeweler just fuck. Ooh, feel me? Like, oh, I'm like, shit, hell yeah, he probably get rid of it for you. Feel me? Like, y'all gotta cash out though. On the set. Ooh, but I know about this stuff. That's why I asked him. Like, you know, you fuck nigga T Grizzley, like he like off limits. I'm like on crib. I'm like, y'all ain't say. I'm like, all right, you feel me? Like, boom, but I already them niggas on that. Feel me? If anything, I lied on them, bro. But that's going straight on the day.
So the first video was when they had him on the FaceTime. He was saying way too much shit to anybody. And here we are after that video gets leaked to the internet, and here's his response.
We went straight. So basically, it was a twist up, you feel me, to get me on video saying this is a natural human nigga fell for, because like mind you, I should have called in, I should have tapped in. It's money on head. I don't know who to trust when they talking about the amount of money they said it was on the nigga head. You feel me, on perk. So I should have tapped in and see what's the truth. Only reason why I believe this shit though, because where my little brother was from, and a lot of niggas been in my mama house on South Park. So I'm like, these niggas had to, you feel me, on Park. So and another nigga was my people. So I'm like, cuz, you feel me, like these niggas get them.
Ooh. Desperate times calls for desperate measurement.
I agree, Aunt Hefe. And if y'all want to see Aunt Hefe's thoughts and opinions on this situation, be sure to go check out his channel for that. But no, we gonna. That's all that is from there. And now here is the investigation report from February 7th, 2024. So yeah, that was a little over a year ago. Excuse me, y'all. All right. So what does that say? Devonshire Police Department, Los Angeles. Investigation report, February 7th, 2024. On or about. Okay, so this was back in 2022. That video surfaced about a year. Okay. All right. So on or about September 28th, 2022, I, Detective Hamilton, such and such, received this case to investigate a residential burglary. Was burglarized. Entry was made by shattering the rear sliding glass window. The thief made off with $1 million cash, jewelry, and multiple expensive handbags. On February 17th, 2024, at 1334, should be about 134, not about 134, I met with homeowner Terry Wallace and Maisha Agnew for a follow-up investigation due to a newly discovered evidence. That's the Instagram video. Mr. Wallace stated his home was targeted on the day of his engagement wedding. Mr. Wallace is a musician with a stage name T. Grizzley. I began providing Mr. Wallace with a 6-pack lineup to see if he was able to identify any suspects. Mr. Wallace then chose figure 4, which was a photograph of Johnson. That's bad. That's really bad. That's really, really bad. Mr. Wallace stated he didn't know Johnson personally, but Johnson bragged about breaking into Wallace's residence. I then provided Mr. Wallace a photograph of Johnson and 2 unknown male figures. On what seemed to be a FaceTime call, Mr. Wallace informed me that he got Johnson to admit his role in the burglary. Mr. Wallace then provided me with video from security cameras which showed an unknown assailant exiting the rear of the residence. The assailant had on a black and white hooded sweatshirt. Mr. Wallace then provided me with a photograph of what seemed to be Johnson via the Instagram account Shooter Gang, standing on a dark gray colored SUV wearing the black and white hooded sweatshirt. I then provided Mr. Wallace a link to www.evidence.com to upload the photographs and videos. Then asked Mr. Wallace if he had any questions for me. Mr. Wallace stated he didn't have any more questions for me, so I ended my investigation as I didn't have any further questions for Mr. Wallace at the time. And this is Mr. Wallace, this is Mr. Johnson in court. So let's go over, y'all heard it for yourselves, so it ain't gonna be a lot to speak about here. You picked him out of a lineup. That is very unbecoming of a street individual, a gangster rapper, any of that. You provided them a photo of Mr. Johnson from his Instagram. That's very unbecoming of a street dude, gangster rapper, any of that. You submitted these facts. One second, y'all. You submitted all this to the evidence website. This is bad. And what's even more concerning is the guys that you used to do this. You, under the guise of you were going to do some street retribution, you got this guy's information. You got everything you utilize, street individuals and all that kind of stuff. What about those people, man? That was a conspiracy. Like, you putting the people that you put in the streets, your team that you had them going out to acquire all this information, you did all that for what? So that you can help the police send this man to prison? Huh. That's interesting. That's pretty much all there is. And ain't nothing funny about that, y'all. But that's all there is on that T Grizzly shit. I don't even got nothing else to say, y'all. If you want to continue to listen to his music, that's on you. And with that being said, we're going to shift over to this Al Sharpton shit. Now, a lot of y'all don't know. Well, let me let him get off what he need to get off first. Because first of all, we're going to go back to 11 years ago on CBS.
Good evening to you. I'm Christine Johnson.
And welcome, everyone. I'm Maurice Dubois. Those stories are straight ahead. But first, after all these years, the Reverend Al Sharpton admits he was an FBI informant.
Yes, he says that he was the cat that got the rats. But others say that Sharpton's secret life was not by choice. CBS 2 political reporter Marsha Kramer has the story.
My bad, y'all. Let's speed this up. We don't got to be here this long.
Michelle Obama probably never knew that one of the guests at her recent White House 50th birthday party was an FBI mafia informant who helped bring down members of the Genovese crime family. Reverend Al Sharpton, now a confidant of both the First Lady and the President, and of Mayor Bill de Blasio, has his own unique take on his days as the government's confidential informant number 7.
In my own mind, I was not an informant. I was cooperating with investigations.
The revelations threaten to embarrass Sharpton as he kicks off his National Action Network convention this week.
I just want to understand how... Let's back that up. I want y'all to understand your country that we did. It's supposed to be a good nation.
With investigations.
The revelations threaten to embarrass Sharpton as he kicks off his National Action Network convention this week with de Blasio and President Obama the headliners. But they
play on us so much, y'all. Check this out, right? So the people who don't commit crimes, the legal citizens and all that shit. So this is what they think of us. Oh man. So if I don't want to say white, if fucking who? I'm trying to just think of a name. If David Duke or motherfucking one of them white supremacists, and I'm still not trying to use that, but I'm just trying to say if anyone from a different demographic had cooperated with the police to get criminal organizations like the mafia off the streets. Now I'm speaking from an American civilian's perspective. How the fuck is that a bad thing? How you doing that? How are you exposing that to try to tarnish his name? I thought that was a good thing for Americans to do. So wait a minute. So it's not just the street, the people in the street motherfuckers who look down on snitching. So, or are you saying that all blacks is criminal? That's just how we all think, and y'all telling us that he told on the mafia. So I just don't get the point. Al Sharpton has never been a criminal, never been I ain't gonna say never. He's always been an upstanding bourgeois. He's been one of them. He ain't never been on this side of the fence. Not this. I'm not on this side of on that side of the fence. He's never been on the criminal or street side of this shit. So it don't make no sense to me. Furthermore, do y'all know that the reason, or at least what's documented, what's later documented, I'm not talking about by outside sources, I'm talking about the government. The mob had pictures of J. Edgar Hoover in the bathhouses, dressed up as a woman, and all kind of compromising positions. They blackmail him. They did the same shit that Wack 100 does. They blackmail him with those photographs, with this information, to make it the government's claim that the biggest threat to America was Black Panthers, civil rights, all of the black empowerment, all of that shit. That was the biggest threat to America, and not the mafia. Even though the mafia killed JFK, even though the mafia, you know what I'm saying? So many other factors and shit. But because they had these compromising pictures of J. Edgar Hoover, they framed him and basically said, "Nah, you're not gonna tell the world that we the problem. You're gonna tell the world that a whole race of people is the biggest threat to the country." And now 50, 60, however many fucking years later it is, now you're gonna tell us that Al Sharpton, you're gonna tarnish his name by telling us that he worked with y'all to take them down? You see how they play on this is how they play on our heads. First of all, like I say, so it's nuanced. But the telling shit, him being an informant, should only motherfucker that should ever give a fuck about that would be maybe somebody that's in the streets. Why would an American citizen that believes in the justice system, if that's a proponent of the justice, how would you put that out there to try to destroy his name? Let's pull back from that. We gonna I want to say Al Prophet, I think is who it is, that he broke all this down. Come on now. Yeah. Unless they done pulled it from his channel. But there was a video where they broke all this shit down. And you can't just pick any damn video they put on the internet, because even though, all right, MSNBC, and that's what we're going to talk about when we get into this Trump administration shit. So you have these different main news platforms and shit, but 9 times out of 10, 9.9 times out of 10, they're still you're not gonna get all the real facts. They're gonna give you the approved official narrative of the shit, or their version of it. Fox will have their version of it, and the right side will have their version, and the left side will have their version of it. But you can't go to them, because let's do right here. Al Prophet definitely pulled that motherfucker, because he had a whole video up. And this dude, I don't want to watch the Michael Franzese, but you know what? Maybe we will, because this dude's a liar too. He's a liar, and he's not respected by anybody in his world or from that world that he comes from.
You were actually involved with Al Sharpton and Don King.
Yes.
During this time. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I had a big undercover operation on me at the time. Obviously, I didn't know it.
Now, we know Don King. We know what he did to Tyson. We know what he did to Lennox Lewis. We know what he did to, man, countless boxers. And like I say, these are civilians. Now, I'm not here to say, oh, this is okay, or this ain't about that. The people who give you this shit, they believe in the law. They believe in the justice system. They believe in all that shit. So when they try to spin it to you and tell a motherfucker, oh, that they're wrong for doing exactly what the justice system that was built for them to have to use and apply and shit, when people actually use that shit, then they try to use that as a justification to tear that person down. You're not a criminal, So what you saying? You look at all of us as criminals, and we should look at him like it don't make no sense through a rational lens. Outside of you have a skewed perspective of us, because you would never, like I said, there's in no case. If it was Donald Trump, Donald Trump's a degenerate, so maybe not him. Any one of these motherfuckers in Congress that they trying to prosecute right now, if any one of them was like, yeah, we got information that you was an informant from years ago, that would be applauded. But some kind of way, because this is a black man, and they know that they've gone out of their way over the past through media to make black culture synonymous with a criminal culture. So when they say some shit like this, you look at it like, oh, he foul. Bro, like I said, these people, and this is long before Francis, maybe his father, you know what I'm saying, and his peers. Bro, the way that they got the heat off their back for the crimes they were committing was by blackmailing the head of the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover, with compromising photos to say, no, you ain't gonna do nothing with us. You go target the blacks. You go target them. And this is documented, y'all. And then they gonna turn around and tell y'all that this 100% civilian, Al Sharpton, who has always been about the advancement and betterment of our people, you gonna let him sit up? You gonna sit up there and use him and say, yeah, he's a rat? Well, who? Man, let's go.
Where an FBI agent undercover and
Speedboat, what it do?
An informant that used to work with Muhammad Ali. They were trying to target the boxing industry for illegal gain, and so they got to me somehow through somebody I knew. And they were trying to get me to set up Don King, and they were trying to put us both in a problem and see how we were fixing fights and how, you know, we were doing things we shouldn't have been doing in the fighting game. And Al Sharpton, who I knew very well at the time, was my liaison between Don King and myself. And you know, Al Sharpton at the time, he was a gun for hire. You know, we needed him to do some things with his own people, which he called them at the time. We hired him. When you say gun for hire, you say it like a motherfucker does criminal acts. No, say it right. He is a motherfucker. Activist for hire is what you mean. But you're gonna sit up here and call him a gun for hire to try to put him in the criminal light with you, with your deviancy. Man, that's what they do. To do it, we used to pay him. You know, he was valuable in the music business because the Norby Walters, the guy I had at that time that was booking all these acts, we'd send Al out to meet with the act that he wanted to book, and Al would bring him to us for a price. That's how we used him. So I know Al very well.
Okay. And what happened with Don King?
Well, they had an undercover operation on me for about 8 to 9 months. But I was very leery of these guys. I was very careful how I worked with them. And I eventually brought them to Don King. But in the first meeting that I had with King, I said, look, I can only trace these guys back maybe a year. I said, so in this first meeting we had, don't say anything illegal. Play it straight. So everything across the board. They want to invest money. They'll invest it with you. We'll get into the fight game. But don't talk about anything you shouldn't be talking about. So we had the meeting. And he did it exactly like that. What happened was, and it was a big case, we called it shadow boxing. That was Sports Illustrated wrote it up. It was a whole big thing. What happened was they tried to continue. They were trying to get the money to give to Don. It was going to be a lot of money at the time. And they had, I believe, 81 tape recordings of me. They turned it over to the U.S. attorney at the time, and none of those tape recordings worked to have me indicted. I didn't say anything on them that would hurt myself. So they eventually had to close it down, and it went nowhere. But the only one that got in trouble over that was Al Sharpton, because he tried to do a drug deal with the agents. And then he became an informant after that, 100%, no matter what he says. He was an informant. He tried to do...
Well, I guess I didn't know that part, huh? Hey, hold on. I did not know Al Sharpton was out here dealing in street pharmaceuticals. I didn't know that. But with that, like I said, this dude is a liar. But we're going to take him at his word. We taking everybody at their word until they give us a reason to discount what they saying.
A drug deal, they got him on tape doing the deal, the whole bit.
Al Sharpton.
Al Sharpton.
Was it informant?
Absolutely, 100%.
Oh, Matt, but like I said, and I'm not here to excuse any of that shit. Well, I guess I kind of am. For a person that, an activist, you talking about somebody that's trying to, boy. So let me guess, if he was to be assaulted by somebody and he pressed charges or some shit, he'd be a snitch too. I just don't understand why telling the world that Al Sharpton was an FBI informant. Now, what may be worth telling people, which actually I would care about, was if a motherfucker was like, oh yeah, this motherfucker's out here selling drugs, got caught, and then he became an informant. Now we're talking. Now we got a discussion to have. You know what I mean? And it seems like that's where it's leading. But we're going to watch one more of these to try to get a little more insight into what is going on. And then we're going to shift on over to this and touch on what's going on with the state of America and the Trump administration.
For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson. With another election day under our belt, it begs.
Oh no, we don't. I don't even want to watch this channel. Y'all know about Comedy Hype? Well, it used to be Comedy Hype. I don't even want to do that, y'all. We're going to do something better than that. Instead of covering it, because Comedy Hype is... I don't want none of... I saw Hype, and I didn't know that that's what they was. But we don't I ain't supporting shit they doing.
Welcome to Little Known Black.
But instead, this is what we'll do. We'll watch a 9-minute video on the Ghetto Informant Program. Interesting name, I hope. This is going to cover exactly what I just got through telling y'all about. Perfect. Let's go.
Facts. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. The Ghetto Informant Program. How the FBI...
Jumbie, what it do? We talking about... We started with Al Sharpton and his cooperation, and I wanted to explain the nuance and shit and how history plays in, just the impact that history has on it. And from there, we're gonna watch this little quick video to gain a clearer understanding. Hopefully, we will.
I used thousands of informants to infiltrate the black community. 66 years prior to the Declaration of Independence, the Meritorious Manumission Act of 1710 was enacted in colonial Virginia. This law provided for freeing a slave for good deeds and could be granted to a slave who informed or snitched on a fellow slave who was planning a slave rebellion or to run away. The slave rebellions of Denmark Vesey and Nat Turner were thwarted by infiltrators. Almost every black social movement since then has been infiltrated and negatively impacted by the use of informants. The Ghetto Informant Program, also known as GIP, was an intelligence gathering operation run by the Federal Bureau of Investigation from 1967 to 1973. The order for the GIP program came in from Attorney General Ramsey Clark to FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover. Its official purpose was to collect information pertaining to riots and civil unrest. Through this program, the FBI used more than 7,000 people to infiltrate poor black communities in the United States. J. Edgar Hoover was convinced that race riots were on the verge of destroying communities everywhere and that they were brewing in the black urban centers. Informants, usually black males, monitored black activists including Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad, Huey Newton, and many others. The program was targeted at those likely to have information about ghetto happenings. The recruited informants were sent to spy on people in the black neighborhoods. These informants were listening posts, tools for blanket surveillance of a community or area. Informants reported on candy store owners, barbershops, certain churches, and African-American bookstores. GIP operated with no oversight from courts or Congress. One of the first major projects involving the Ghetto Informant Program was Operation POCAM, the FBI's effort to monitor and disrupt the 1968 Poor People's Campaign. FBI agents posed as journalists, used wiretaps, and even recruited some of the recruiters as informants. A March 1968 memo.
Grenada, Mississippi. I grew up about 30 minutes from there.
Stated the program's goal was to prevent the coalition of militant black nationalist groups, to prevent the rise of a black messiah who could unify the militant black nationalist movement, to prevent militant black nationalist groups and leaders from gaining respectability by discrediting them to both the responsible community and to liberal sympathizers. It also aimed to prevent the long-range growth of militant black organizations, especially among black youth. Informants were asked to keep tabs on gang activity, to follow ex-convicts, and then warn the FBI if anything was about to go down. At least 67 informants were members of the Black Panther Party, who were tasked with spreading disinformation on the Black Panthers, as well as sending reports to the FBI. Let's take a look at a few well-documented informants. The Marcus Garvey Must Go campaign. When Marcus Garvey first arrived in the United States in 1916, he quickly found his way to many of New York's most prominent black radical activists and intellectuals. And at least briefly, Garvey enjoyed their support. But by 1920, A. Philip Randolph, W.E.B. Du Bois, and other black leaders who had supported Garvey after his arrival came to believe that Garvey's program for black advancement was unsound and that Garvey himself was a fraud. Prominent black critics derided Garvey's proposed solutions for the problems of African Americans. They believed that his plans for black progress, including his Black Star Line and the establishment of a Pan-African empire, were unrealistic and ill-advised. They considered the Universal Negro Improvement Association's grandiose titles and military regalia to be preposterous, and they thought Garvey to be little more than a self-aggrandizing buffoon. Many accused Garvey of squandering the hard-earned money of his hard-working poor supporters. Black opposition to Garvey coalesced into what came to be known as the Garvey Must Go campaign. Supporters of the campaign, known collectively as the Friends of Negro Freedom, intended to unmask Garvey as a fraud before his black supporters. They also appealed to the federal government to step up investigations of irregularities in the Black Star Line and to look into allegations of violence on the part of Garvey's inner circle. James Wormley Jones was a black police officer and the first black FBI special agent who went undercover to take Garvey down. His information was the nail in the coffin J. Edgar Hoover needed to arrest Garvey. On November 19, 1919, Jones was appointed as the first African-American special agent by A. Bruce Beluska, who at that time was the director of the Bureau of Investigation. Soon after he joined the organization, the name was changed to the Federal Bureau of Investigation and was headed by newly appointed director J. Edgar Hoover. Jones's first undercover assignment came in 1921 when he...
Quick here, I thought she was going to say it first, but the Pan-African movement is often associated as with or as a co-opted government operation, and this kind of underscores why that's the at least that's the underlying idea that people have when they hear the term Pan-Africanism.
Infiltrated the African Blood Brotherhood, a secret armed African-American black liberation group headquartered in New York City. While working with the FBI in New York City on the African Blood Brotherhood, Hoover assigned Jones to infiltrate Marcus Garvey's Universal Negro Improvement Association. The information Jones provided to the Bureau would help lead to the arrest of Garvey on mail fraud charges. Garvey was in prison for 3 years and then deported from the United States, never to return. Richard Aoki gave the Black Panther Party some of its first firearms and weapons training, which preceded fatal shootouts with Oakland police in the turbulent 1960s.
Aoki, huh? Does that last name seem familiar, y'all?
Aoki was also an undercover FBI informer. Unbeknownst to his fellow Panther activists, Aoki served as an FBI intelligence informant, covertly filing reports on a wide range of Bay Area political groups. He committed suicide in 2009 after a long illness.
Aoki from the Bay Area. Stay woke, y'all.
Photographer Ernest Withers captured some of the most iconic images of the Civil Rights era. But Withers was also an FBI informant, funneling information to the Bureau about the Civil Rights Movement and its leaders. Withers documented the Civil Rights Movement from the beginning, covering pivotal moments such as the murder of Emmett Till in 1955 and the Little Rock School integration showdown. He came to be so familiar and so trusted to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and other leaders that he sat in on their strategy meetings. He spied on not only black civil rights activists, but on those who supported the Memphis-wide strike by sanitation workers and political candidates, recording their car license plate numbers for the FBI. Withers also helped the Bureau to break a militant black group called the Invaders, which had a following in Memphis in the late 1960s. He was the perfect source for them due to having the ability to go everywhere with an obvious professional purpose. William O'Neill became infamous in 1973 when his role in the 1969 raid in which Black Panther leaders Fred Hampton and Mark Clark were murdered was revealed. O'Neill was a Panther insider to the point where he was in charge of security for Hampton and possessed the keys to Panther headquarters and safe houses. At the same time, he was serving as an informant for the FBI. Among the information O'Neill fed his FBI contact was the floor plan of Hampton's West Side apartment that was used to plan the fatal raid where they were shot and killed. O'Neill committed suicide in 1990 by jumping into traffic on the Chicago Expressway. The Ghetto Informant Program was terminated in July 1973. Informants were either reclassified or discontinued. FBI surveillance in the style of the Ghetto Informant Program has continued through this present day as COINTELPRO.
Your words matter more than you know, John B. I appreciate that. But that didn't, the description said what I was looking at. But that's exactly what I was, that wasn't what we was trying to get to, but we learned something there too. And with that being said, give me 1 second because we're going to find the one we need.
For Comedy Hype News,
Yeah, now let's go look at this drug shit, though.
The Smoking Gun website is reporting that the Reverend Al Sharpton, a.k.a. President Obama's #1 cheerleader, that he worked as an FBI informant.
Now, this guy, man, look. Well, let me say this, though. Before I even say that, people like him, Tucker Carlson, whatever his name is, I'll say this, though, right? They full of shit. A lot of some of the perspective of their shit can be bullshit. However, here's how you know when you have a good source of a good journalist. If a journalist's work, if you don't always agree with if you always agree with a journalist's work, that's probably that's probably not it's probably a biased journalist. But journalists who present information and facts that you like agree with, and then sometimes they have shit that you don't agree with, that's not always, but it's usually indicative of a motherfucker that's taking the right approach, the straight approach, and not veering off too much. Now these motherfuckers, these Fox motherfuckers, especially, man, they can be very biased with their insights, with what they bring into the table. But every once in a while, they'll get it right. They'll cover some shit. They'll hit the points on the head that need to be hit. But let's go. Let's get through this. Let's see if he's gonna be doing what he's supposed to be doing, or if he's gonna be being a puppet. And if he is, we're gonna get up out of there. But let's go.
Spying on New York mob figures back in the 1980s, and the report, which was featured on the cover of today's New York Post, said Sharpton secretly recorded conversations that he had with the mob. Earlier today, he responded to those allegations during a press conference. Take a look.
I was not and am not.
You say, who you talking about? Speedboat. You said, did he unalive himself, or did they off his rap? You talking about damn, I just seen the name. Ron, the O'Neal motherfucker. I don't know who you talking about. Sharpton's still alive.
A rat, because I wasn't with the rats. I was never told I was an informant with a number. So in my own mind, I was not an informant. I was cooperating with investigations.
Now tonight, we also have gotten our hands on an HBO Sports video of an undercover FBI agent acting as a drug trafficker negotiating a cocaine deal with none other than Al Sharpton himself. Take a look at this.
I can get it for about $35,000 a kilo, but I got to get more than one. Right. I mean, if we're gonna do this thing, I mean, 10 kilograms is like it's $350,000. That's a drop in the bucket. No, we can go bigger. Every kilogram we bring in 3,500.
Now I don't know what happened to Aoki. They never get to that part.
So we bring in 10, you make 35,000. But that's a check target. He's going to do what he'll do much more. We can do it, 100 times over. Like with the supplier, 100 times over.
Now, the video is reportedly from 1983, and after it aired, Al Sharpton threatened to sue HBO for millions of dollars.
Yeah, hold on, y'all.
Now, this incriminated them.
No,
they framed you. That's obstruction of justice at the least. So,
not today, 1090. We're not covering you today. It's something I'm trying to hear at the end again, though. So I'm trying to figure out, was he working here, or are they saying that this is where? Let's watch this one more time.
Let's drop the bucket. No, we can go bigger. Every kilogram we bring in 3,500. So we bring in 10, you make 35,000. But that's a check target. He's going to do what he'll do much more. We can do it, 100 times over. Like with the supplier, 100 times over.
Now, the video is reportedly from 1983, and after it aired, Al Sharpton threatened to sue HBO for millions of dollars.
Yeah, so here's the thing with that. That would have been before, or excuse me, that would have been after all this, him being a informant. And that does line up with what Francis says, but if he's an informant and he's working on behalf of the FBI, that don't make sense that y'all trying to convince us that he was This don't make sense. Y'all trying to convince us that he was already an FBI informant, and from there he tried to make like large drug deals, and he wasn't actually informant on that as well. There's a lot of confusion, man. But at the core of it, I'll say this: our politicians, our activists, all of those people like that. Why would you be looking down on them if they was an informant on somebody that's doing bad to that's not a net positive, that's a net negative to society? I get as a criminal, I get as somebody who or even a street apologist. I get why you would have a problem. I get it. But why does the mainstream world, why does society think that all of black culture would look down on an individual for what in their culture you look at as doing the right thing? It's a function of the judicial system is to do these type of things. You got to pay attention. Like, what do you think of us? Or what have you programmed us to think of ourselves? Yeah. Look. 1 second. Actually, we're going to get off of that because it ain't too much. We know how the motherfuckers is. I want to move into what's going on with this with the Trump administration. So, I have never really talked on this or spoken on any of this. But on here. But there's a lot going on, and where do I start? We're in a bad place, y'all. The country is in a bad place. The DOD is compromised, or the DOW, the Department of Defense, the Department of Justice, the Department of Homeland Security, the Speaker of the House, everybody in every position that is supposed to serve as the check and balance for the president's authority. Almost every measure put in place has been, what's the term? Co-opted. We're in a bad place. Not just black people, not just brown people, not just minorities, not just Democrats. Bipartisan, nonpartisan, us as a country, we are in a critical state, y'all. Very critical state. They're tearing down the White House, and they want you to think that that's what you should be worried about. But let me pull a map up for y'all real quick. I want y'all to see who the president is out here picking fights with. Let me turn my what's called. I know y'all hear that shit out there. Excuse me. I want y'all to see who where we who we got problems with right now. So, America's here, and South America is here. Well, let's pull that out even a little bit more. So, America has problems with all of this right here. Basically, everything from here all the way around. Actually, I got that wrong. Let me pull that down a little bit more. From here, because Iran is right there. So we're going to basically go from right here all the way up through, excuse me, we straight with them. And up around there from right here all the way around here to Pakistan, and it's iffy with India, and then all of China. So that's who we got issues with, y'all. And we got this over here in Japan. This where we at over here. We got stations over here. We got stations over here. We got stations right here. Oh, and South Korea. And this is how we kind of have China boxed in. China, Russia. This is how we can get to them type shit, right? Israel down here doing their bullshit. But that's besides the point. All right. So in order for any of them motherfuckers to invade us, they gotta cross these 2,000-3,000 miles, right? They either gotta go that way, or they gotta go this 6,000 miles. This is like 6,000 miles, because we have partnerships. We have alliances with these guys. We have alliances with these guys. And if y'all know, back in the 70s, this is when we almost had this is why JFK died, because our enemies was able to get up in here. The reason why we are so safe in America as a country is because motherfuckers can't get to us like we can get to them. The reason we can get to them is because we got stations. And when I say we, I'm talking about America, not me or you, but the country that we belong to, because we got bases in all of these places. We got bases in Japan, the Philippines, Taiwan, South Korea. We got them surrounded. We got all of Europe. We got all of that shit. All of that. You get what I'm saying? Trump is starting conflicts. Trump, our issues right now, who he's making our enemy is Colombia and Venezuela. Now, I don't know if y'all see what's going on, but those are the closest countries to us from South America. And it's just outside of motherfuckers' reach to where they can start working their way in through that direction, because our only ally is all the way down here at the bottom of Argentina. And the reason they trying to have that ally is ideally so if a motherfucker was trying to come from the bottom, we could see it happening and shit. But what you got to think about BRICS. Brazil don't fuck with America and ain't finna start fucking with America. So from a geopolitical stance on this shit, how wars and shit, like how people stage up, and people they be thinking centuries ahead. It ain't no, a lot of people think day for day, you know what I'm saying? Some people think a year ahead, 5 years ahead. These motherfuckers be thinking 1,000 years into the future type shit. So with all that in mind, they position themselves for these fights and shit. So when America sits up there and engages in a conflict in Iran and that they can't win, and then you sit up there and put boots on the ground in Israel, and you got shit going on in where we at over here in Ukraine, and then you still got this this flashpoint over here in Taiwan and South Korea. So there's 4 different fronts that America has to be worried about. And what do we add on top of that? Now we got the American people are what's the word? Infighting. You had civil dissent on your domestic civil dissent. So not only do you got all these problems abroad, but now you also got issues in the homeland. Now you also have, yeah, it's really bad. And I'm only showing y'all this shit from the geopolitical. I want y'all to see this shit from the war scale of it, because that's what they not telling you about. And I don't know if y'all read my paper that I published earlier this week on Sunday about the war you see is the war they want. But I explained how the civil divide, that all that shit that's going on right now is to distract motherfuckers from a revolution. Essentially, you make the people fight themselves. So you make the people think each other the problem so that they never see that you're the problem. And it's done so well here and effectively, you know what I mean, that we just got, you got the right, you got the left, you got blacks, you got whites, you got straights, you got gays, you got the Cowboys, and you got the fucking 49ers. It's so many boxes and shit that you can get in to not agree or get along with your neighbor and shit like that. And whole while America out here stirring issues up that really gonna come back to bite us in the ass. Maybe sooner, but they say the experts say no later than 2027 we'll actually be in physical war with China. So I just wanted to show y'all that so y'all can have a idea on the global side of how this idiot Trump is setting us up to get fucked over, because no other country would play into this motherfucking shit. And when I say that, I mean Rome fell because they tried to fight wars on a whole bunch of different fronts. Persia as well, almost throughout history, every nation, that big nation, great nation that fell because they began fighting wars on too many different fronts. And then they still had bullshit going on at home. Now, after we talk about that, now we got to look at what's going on in the homeland. Hold on one second, y'all. My bad. But now let's get a look at what's going on.
Good evening, I'm Maurice Dubois.
I'm John Dickerson.
We begin tonight with President Trump's expanding plans to architecturally transform.
We're going to start here. Let's put it back. Let's start where they want us to start. They want you to be worried about a motherfucker tearing up the White House, and let's go. Let's go.
House, which we learned today includes the complete destruction of the East Wing.
The first images that emerged on Monday of the ripped-down walls of the First Lady's wing sparked criticism from those who want to preserve the history of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
And those who point to the president's promise last summer that the massive, privately funded ballroom he's building would not touch or interfere with the current building.
The president calls the project a much-needed modernization. Critics call...
All right. So, if y'all don't know, Trump tearing down the ballroom, tearing down the East Wing to build the ballroom, to build this big, beautiful ballroom. It's estimated to cost about $230 million. And Trump said the taxpayers won't have to pay for it. Rather, he got investors and he's going to pay for it out of his pocket. Now, also at the same time, Trump is suing the DOJ for roughly $230 million behind the cases that they had against him before he won the election. Though once he won the election, they dismissed all that shit, give him immunity, and he hired his personal attorney as the head of the department that he was just being prosecuted by. So he dismissed all that shit and sues all it, and then he's suing them. But these aren't jury. This isn't a jury situation. This is basically this is one of those situations where the DOJ just rules on it, and because his personal attorney is the head of the DOJ, dude has essentially, he's about to pay himself $230 million, roughly $230 million of taxpayer money. And then he's saying, but the taxpayers, the ballroom that they about to build in the White House is not it won't come out of taxpayers' dollars, but the taxpayers have to pay for this suit that he doesn't even have a right to, because the case wasn't dismissed. Like, you dismissed the shit. You wasn't found not guilty on the shit. Or I might have to find that so we can articulate it better than I'm doing it, because I think I'm using the wrong words right now. But on the fundamental level of it, you're trying to sue your own. You're trying to sue the Department of Justice, which is your country. You say you're suing yourself, but you're not suing yourself. That's us. You're suing everybody but yourself. You don't. But we don't have to pay for the wall. We don't have to pay for this ballroom. He's going to use his own money that we're about to give him. And of that money that we give him, that's not going to be contributed towards this project, will be money from investors, from corporations who are expecting some sort of, they're not offering this benevolence for nothing. They want something in return. And you better believe it's going to happen. That's that. Then you got, hold on, let this play.
A desecration. Senior White House correspondent Weijia Zhang leads us off from the North Lawn. Weijia?
President Trump says the ballroom construction will cost $300 million. That's up $100 million from his original estimate, all paid for by private donors. Senior administration.
Wait a minute.
That's up
on, Weijia.
President Trump says the ballroom construction will cost $300 million.
$300 million. That's went up an extra 70. Earlier this week or last week, they said it was going to be $230 million. And just like that, another $70 million. All right. I don't want to get to rambling or get lost searching for YouTube videos. So I'm going to try to hit these points off my mind where I know. So we also had a situation down there, like I say, with Argentina. So the country's cattle ranches are already not doing the best. Things ain't how they need to be here for us. And in spite of that, Trump has decided, instead of bailing them out, he's going to send that money. He's going to send $40 million down there to Argentina, and he's going to start importing their beef over the American beef. Now, forget the cow and foot disease issues that they got that going on down there, like at mass with their livestock. For whatever reason, Trump sees this as that's a net positive. This is the best path forward. For what reason, we don't know yet, but I'm sure in due time it will be revealed. That's extremely concerning. And like I say, the shit going on up there in Venezuela, they are literally committing war crimes off the coast of Venezuela. Now, wouldn't it be, hey, it'd be interesting if it ever came out that it's CIA operatives down there doing these drug deals, and that's who they out there killing. It'd be crazy if we found that out one day. But I don't want to. Yeah, man. What else? What else is worth speaking to? Well, we can talk about what's going on with the National Guards. They've approved the National Guards to go into do what they need to do in Oregon and Chicago. That's been overturned, despite the fact that the whole world, Republicans and all, have seen and witnessed it. Man, there's no reason, there's no call for it, And this is to just further underscore the civil dissent. From my perspective, I think, and I'm going to say this and then we're going to go ahead and get off of this for now. From my perspective, we in this situation, yeah. Now, from my perspective, Trump don't want to leave office in a few years. I got a few ideas. Trump don't want to leave office in a few years, and he's setting this shit up for basically to do exactly what they're doing over there in Israel. Their president, he's been serving almost a 2-decade term, and they supposed to do elections every 4 years, but because of war times and shit like that, you don't change, you know what I mean? Hey, do what they do to stay in power. And it seems like a little bit of that is going on. Now, here are some of my more candid ideas that I usually just think and wouldn't express out because these are just my ideas, possibilities. You ever work for a company that's and they get bought by a different company, and they don't initially or immediately change the name of the company. Instead, everything just goes on as normal. And what you'll know, you might get an email or something that says, we changed this, but everything's gonna be the same. And then after a little time, you start seeing some faces change. You start seeing some policy changes, some over time, maybe less than a year from, you'll see an entirely different operation than what it was. And it still has the same name. And then they'll change the name. A part of me feel like America done already been sold. And it's just the process of rolling it out to the people. That's a piece of it. Like I say, there's so much thought to try to have to articulate out on that idea. That's why I kind of keep it candid, because I can think it pretty well, but to try to express it out takes a lot. But a part of me feel like this country's already been sold off. Or another perspective I have on it is, I look at America as the global hegemony. And what that means is the people who run the world. And I feel like America has been the global hegemony for the last 70, since the 40s, essentially. So since that time. And I feel like we are definitely coming up on the end, if we haven't already reached the end of the global hegemony known as America. And the first looks like what we're seeing on a global scale, where we're not moral, like from the globe's world, and it's been like this for a while, but it's even more blatant and obvious now. We're no longer moral, and I'm saying not we, talking about this country and how they project themselves to the rest of the world. We're no longer moral. We're no longer on the right side of history. Like I say, from our perspective, it's never been that way. But from the global mainstream narrative, even since the 40s, when all that was going on, even though if you go look it up and read the real history, you see for what it is. But as far as the narrative that was pushed, the mainstream narrative was that we were the right guys, and we were morally justified and all of that good stuff. And it just seems that now all of that is coming undone. And I think for now, I'm going to put a pin in that, because I know this is my first time ever even touching on politics or anything like that on this channel. And y'all might not want to hear this shit. Let me know if you do, and maybe in the future we'll do more of that. But with that being said, Bucci Bell Brown, come on down. Now, Bucci Bell Brown. It looks like, back this up, stop. It looks like Bucci Bell Brown has become the fourth member of A Day in LA. The show I like to call, I'll be calling moving forward, we're going to call this 3 Mooks and a Whoop. That's what we're going to call this show, 3 Mooks and a Whoop. And Brandon has made himself, it looks like he's a new member of this shit. And there's a couple things I want to talk about this. So, Brandon, you got a lot of smoke for the ladies, a lot of smoke for the ladies. You're going to tell them how it is. Or you got smoke for men when they not around. But why so much for Tam? Why so much for Tam? like I say, only thing I don't like about Tam is that she's on no jumper. That's the only thing that I don't like. But with that, I also understand that you gotta grow your shit. You gotta get some motion first. So I understand that, and I'm ready to see the post no jumper era for her. But with that being said, man, fuck it. I'm gonna let him talk so I can say what I need to say, because it's motherfucking crazy. Let's go.
All right. Also joining us is Trap News Network controversial YouTuber Rich Trapper. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Last but not least.
So he competes with women. He beats women. And he's just defeated by women. And shouts out to Ass Bash. Let's go.
He's coming back to the show, our most viral guest, the most hated. Join the chat. We're finally monetized. Yes, sir. Make some noise for that. Got our watch hours.
I want to be Chucky with the
But
like hanging on the project having fish fries. Where do people in LA take their kids trick or treating? Like
I always. It's not a costume, brother.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe a character from the game Gears of War, that big black dude. Nobody knows that.
Wait, hold on. You said Gears of War?
I don't know.
I don't know his name. All right, what's the craziest thing you have been following? For me, it was Harry Potter.
I don't know.
So I'm asking, but you know what it's like.
So I watched the shit and I was gonna talk about it. First he talking about black people ain't got no business. You supposed to keep your kids in the hood for Halloween. You shouldn't take them to rich areas. Just more of the coon shit, but we're not here for that, because if we was gonna be reacting to all the coon or goofy shit that he says, then it'd be a 24-hour stream just on all his stuff, on, you know what I'm saying, on all his content. And that's not what we do. We want to make sure we highlighting and underscoring why his opinions are invalid or unmerited, and make sure motherfuckers just aware. That's all.
We can't do audio like that. He is cool.
I was talking about King. But
I hit T-Row right now. I call T-Row.
She's been married before. She said she's been married.
That's what I'm saying. Been married. So that means if you've been married.
To say about you, did you see that clip, or do we have to revise what she said?
Yeah, all right, bullshit aside. Who niggas really want to see at this table?
Honestly, I want to see anybody that's there bringing food and that's having a good vibe. It don't matter.
She goes to bring the meth.
Yeah.
Why do y'all think every black person just loves lush?
Bear with it, y'all.
Like y'all can't see that. He the white guy, the white kid who hung with the niggas, but then when shit went down, he narked out everybody. Like.
Bro, you're the black guy that hangs with the niggas just gonna narc out everybody. Hey, let me get.
See that embarrassment as possible with him.
All right, so Brandon.
There we go. Let's go.
Last time you pulled up, we had a dope conversation. Then Tam pulled up, and she had some things to say about you. Did you?
Hey, Dejan, the mic you use, not the mic, the camera that you're using, not the best, probably not a good camera for what you're trying to, for what you're doing. Probably not a good camera. The mics sound a little bit better. So what needs to happen is you're gonna have to learn gain staging and get that shit figured out. Run some practice lives and shit before, cause this shit sounds choppy in the morning. It's gonna be going in and out and all kinds of shit. And I pull all that back. I'm not trying to get this motherfucker no advice. I mean, I gave it already, but that's because I can see a portion of the shit where it can be good, but this shit is degenerate. It's like Brandon say, this is degenerate content. Let me not give motherfuckers AV cues.
You see that clip, or do we have to revise what she said?
Yeah, you didn't see her say you love Donald Trump so much. How come you won't pardon your daddy? Oh, I didn't see that. Oh yeah, she fired your ass up. Yeah. So if she wasn't a retarded bitch, she would know that Donald Trump can only pardon someone who's in federal prison, not state prison, you goofy hoe.
How would she know that your father's only in state?
Because she should do her research before she says some shit like that. But anyway, so that's what I'm just saying. Like, if you dumb, then you...
Why is that so funny, Rich Trapper? You hate bitches that much that when you hear them, you hate women that much that when you hear them get violated and disrespected, it just tickles you pink, huh?
You get to be the B word because you're trying to be funny. Like, now look, if you're gonna shoot a low joke, right? Bitch, be accurate.
Now,
don't miss.
I wasn't gonna recap that. My point to recap was she said that when you first met her, you gave her grocery store flowers.
No, I didn't.
I'm sorry, y'all, and I know this low hanging fruit, but I just want to underscore and highlight the stark contrast in the cuts on the genes of these fellas. You need more boot cut. You need less bail on your bottoms, my boy.
She said, hold on. She sat here last week and she said that you gave her grocery store flowers. You brought them up there. You gave them to somebody to give to her.
Josh, I believe.
Okay.
So did you not buy her flowers? They went to the grocery store. The flowers were delivered by Uber Eats. Okay. And they did not come from the grocery store. I don't think. I actually don't know where they came from. But
So
they
it's
were not,
possible that
but
they
they were
came-
nice because they were like $39 or something.
Roses?
Yeah, they were $39. But the thing is, it got delivered to No Jumper.
Yeah.
And then he walked it in. But the thing that's crazy is like, when's the last time this chick got flowers? Like,
she's been married before. She said she's
but
been married.
that's what I'm saying. Being married. So that means if you've been married, you've admitted to us your love life is not going well, then it's been a long So you time saying until you since got you received any type of gift.
Wait, see, now this is supposed to be our intellectual. So back it up. What you say? And how does that make sense?
Married, you've admitted to us your love life is not going well.
So ain't told nobody she was married. They found, and you say, oh, so you've admitted to us that this is the logical fallacy. He is a walking fallacy. You can't take nothing he say serious because everything coming out of his mouth is fallacious rhetoric. Ad hominems, false dichotomies, red herrings, straw mans, appeal to authorities, appeal to emotions. That's all this motherfucker is gonna do. There's no validity in this shit he be saying. He got this weird ass fucking voice that says it in a way that people think that it's the right thing. But that motherfucker don't be talking about shit.
Then it's been a long So you time saying until you since got you received flowers. any type of gift from a man. So you saying until you gave
an assumption.
some attention, Tam ain't had no attention, no love from a man. I'm just saying the way she was clutching on those flowers, you could tell she hadn't had them.
Maybe she was appreciated.
She was.
The
Listen,
grocery store flowers?
No, period. Like anything. It don't matter if it's grocery store or not. She
If the
probably was
flowers-
like, oh
that's-
my God, thank you.
Talk your shit, Ash Bash. Maybe she's just showing her femininity by being appreciative of the gesture. Not because she respects it, appreciates it, or doesn't know that it's a mic in it, as Neem would say. But maybe it's just purely her expressing her femininity by being appreciative. And the idea that you let's go.
if the flowers were so bad, why did you clutch them for the rest of the episode? Like, you ever give a pretty girl flowers, like a girl who's used to it? Well, we know not you. It's hypothetical. But you ever give a girl flowers? If a girl is used to getting flowers, she's gonna say, "Oh, these are so beautiful," and then she's just gonna sit them somewhere. So Or they're just give them to sitting somebody. Can you put these in some water?
This fat, goofy motherfucker, again, more fallacious rhetoric. So now women are monolith. Excuse me, not women. Beautiful women are monoliths. And if you give a beautiful woman flowers, she's supposed to acknowledge them and then set them beside her. Hey, man, I don't know your experiences, your life, how women treat you and shit like that, but everybody's not the same, man. And the problem with that is everybody knows that everybody ain't the same, but you want people to think that you are a great thinker. You're analytical and critical thinker. But yet on the most surface level shit, you just like Flacco. How what's the word? Unattached, disassociated your take on shit is. Let's go.
When you clutch up on the flowers, that means like, damn, I haven't had nothing like this in a while. And women, it's very hard for them to hide.
Either that, or she wants you to take the impression that she appreciates it. She sincerely is empathed up. She wants you to feel like the gesture that you did wasn't minute. But because you so used to motherfucker downplaying anything you ever do, you like, man, why? Why she not doing it? Just it don't make no sense, y'all.
The fact that a certain type of energy they've been lacking it for a long time. It's hard for them.
That's a meticulous observation, but an observation nonetheless. Ash Bash, your take on that?
A meticulous observation. I don't fuck with Dijon because it's strange when he get at people like the shit with Keem. instances like that way too much, way too far. But he got some decent that shit like that. Like I say,
That's for
let me pull it back. Like I say, Dijon, I ain't got nothing against you. I ain't got nothing for you either.
Yeah, it kind of made a little bit, but what I'm saying is maybe she was maybe it's like, you know, it's y'all first time meeting. Y'all first time meeting, she probably
Clearly.
so sweet. So she was like, oh, this is nice.
I have a two-part question. One, what made you buy her the flowers? And answer that, and I'll remember my second one. What made you get her flowers?
I was being nice. People were telling me like, oh yeah, she's kind of like on the same stuff you're on. She's like about accountability. She's smart, whatever. People basically lied to me, and just
staff,
Lush, and then like different people on the staff, and then different viewers in the comments and stuff.
And this underscores your lack of brilliance again. So Lush tells you, yeah, you're gonna like her. She's like you. She ain't like you. She's an actual I don't know her like that, but she articulates herself. She just knows how to articulate herself as well. But your points are not the same. Nothing about what she talking about, nothing and what you talking about is adjacent or parallel. Relax. It never was. And anybody that was telling you that was goofing your dumb ass up.
But I just was being nice in general. Like, okay, she's up here not cooning.
How do we get from flowers to a full on beef?
Not cooning. Not cooning. This is the part. This is where I'm trying to get to. Now we getting somewhere.
Between the two of you, what happened?
Just true bad wench behavior. Like, what is she was cool. A bad wench is a woman, a black woman in particular, who seeks validation by trying to appease white men or men of other groups.
Okay. Let's pause there right there, y'all. I want to make sure that we got the right definition. What is a bed range? All right, so you got two terms for it. You got a low status concubine, often a slave or captive. So I was going for this because I thought they was gonna give us some the actual historical context. But a bed wench is that's who sleeps. That's the slaves who were concubines. But as you're reading, slaves who were concubines or mistresses for slave masters. In modern times, they use that as black women who date white men to seek pleasure or to seek privileges, or they put their own people down and shit like that. Things that I've never, if anything, Brandon is a motherfucking bed wench more than anybody. If anybody in this situation is a bed wench, it's fucking Brandon. Let's go.
That's a bad wench, right? Like,
so he started off by lying about what one is and misrepresenting this shit. And that's why I be saying, when people, nothing about what you saying, you just know how to talk well. But everything, sometimes I had trouble talking well. But everything coming out your mouth is some bullshit. But you can say it right. You can say it in a way that sound good, but it's bullshit. But when you encase that between a fact or something that could be proven true, when you continuously do that shit, it's the same tactic that your Whack 100, Adam 22s, your Floccos, your all these motherfuckers. That's what they do. That's how manipulators work and play on your mind. And when Tariq Nasheed called this motherfucker agent of chaos, that's exactly what he is, because it's exactly what he does. You start off by misrepresenting the premise and then building on top of that.
A bad wench is a woman, a black woman in particular, who seeks validation by trying to appease white men or men of other groups. Okay. That's a bad wench, right? Like,
what was the exact moment that made you consider her a bad wench?
Jumbie said, I blame his father. It's obvious he has some masculinity issues linked with black male identity. Facts. Bro, facts. It's, yeah, maybe his father... yeah, what you said, Jumbie. Elegant ignorance. That's exactly what it is. Eloquent ignorance.
When did it click for you? When I never said anything bad about her, and then the next day she was on No Jumper, and she was in the room with like Lush and Adam them, or she might have been on the Thursday show, or I know Thursday. I think she was on another show right after that, and she was just like talking, like somebody was talking shit about me, and she just was like chiming in and talking shit. And I'm like, I've never done anything to this chick.
So her talking negatively about you makes her a bad.
So, bro, here's the thing: you talk bad about black people under the guise of you trying to help. So that alone, you're talking against her. You're talking against all of us damn near every time you open your mouth. You did it at the beginning of the episode. Y'all, I skipped past it when you was talking about how niggas shouldn't go to white people place to trick or treat. You should trick or treat in your own. Don't y'all got trick or treating in your neighborhood? Ain't that what you said? That's talking against black people. So when black people, when someone, a woman or whoever the fuck it is, speaks out against that, you taking that as a personal attack. Hey, it's all I'm saying, man. But the flip side is, you ain't never sit up there and disrespecting none of these men like that. I ain't seen it.
Where's the correlation?
No, what made her a bad wench was when what revealed the bad wenchery of that, was when
What revealed the bad wenchery? How can a motherfucker who comes on this platform and shits on black people, makes it your point to make black degenerate subculture appear as black mainstream culture? How can you as that individual, I can't make sense of it. I mean, I can, but I can't make rational sense of it in a way that paints him as a motherfucker with a north pointing moral compass. It makes perfect sense through the ideas that you was a fuck nigga, but because you keep trying to tell us that you're not, I'm trying to find the logic in how you could possibly have these be this way and not be exactly what motherfuckers see you to be. Let's go.
Told her, asked her would she ever date
Section A, what's going on?
white dude.
That's
and she was like, yes, right? But see, here's the issue. I don't care who you date. You could suck pink dick from here to Kalamazoo.
That's what you, don't let me say that's what you do. I don't know. But like I said, I am coining this show 3 mooks and a whoop. So in my mind, you have or at least desire to chew more pink meat than anybody you talking about. Let's go.
Right? This is the thing. It's like if I dated a white woman. You could date who you want to. Just don't follow that shit up by putting down your own women or your own men. And that's exactly what this dirty bad witch did. Adam asked her.
Section A, if, man, I don't know. Like I said, I don't watch him enough. I've seen a few clips of instances where he said he got a wife, and I've seen him talking to people in the background. And I know there's one time he was on live with some people, and he shared a picture of his wife's private area while he was on live, and then talking about, oh yeah, that's my wife. I didn't mean to do that. Like, I think this motherfucker's an incel and he ain't had pussy since pussy had him. That's my belief. I think he's lying by having a wife.
Yeah, that seems like what I'm gonna have to do. Because black men, she immediately, without even pausing, went into some negative tropes about black men, bro. Like, and it was stupid. Like, black men who make what I made.
And if he got a wife, it's a beard.
Want to be treated like a Jesus. Like, bitch, treat your man like Jesus then. That's probably why you got divorced.
Is that Tam impersonation? That's your
Tam
impersonation of Tam?
That's just my impersonation.
I watched it.
That's my impersonation of a bad witch, bro. Like, look, my wife make me feel like a king. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's her pleasure to do that. If you're just a chick who's unable or so egotistical that making your man feel, like super or great or superior, if that offends you, that's a you problem.
That would require submission, wouldn't it?
That's her problem. She don't want to submit to a black man. So she said, like, I'll submit, but I'll only submit to a white man.
So,
bro, what you're saying, first of all, she never said no shit like that. In the same way you conflate, her expressing femininity by showing appreciation for the flowers, the same way you tried to conflate that to her not receiving affection from the opposite sex, is as untethered, as fucking unhinged as that take was. is as unhinged as every other point that you ever try to make whenever the fuck you go to talking and speaking. That's how fucking crazy and wild and far off the shit you saying sounds. It makes no sense. It's not grounded in reality. It's grounded in a warped perception that you're trying to project onto motherfuckers. Bro, only a fool sees through this shit. Only somebody like Flacco looks at this shit and says, hell yeah. That's it right there. Only a motherfucker like No Jumper. Only motherfuckers that are also agents of chaos. Motherfuckers who live to distort, whose intention is to distort the truth. That's the only motherfuckers gonna look at this shit and be like, yeah, this is good. This who I want on my team. You're fucking a good liar. Let's go.
I watched the episode live. The episode that your ex-husband up here. I have no interest in that. I watched the episode live that you're referring to, and the conversation was very interesting. And I brought it up last week and had her re-explain herself just for some clarification. And as far as her disposition, she's saying that if a black man makes $100,000 or around that amount of money,
which is what we all make,
they act pretty pompous. They kind of act like they Jay-Z or they're a mogul XYZ. But if she dated a white guy or a Hispanic guy or Asian guy who makes that same amount of money, he's just casual with it. That's her disposition.
How does she know?
Maybe she's dating outside her race before.
Taking that pink meat then.
So we'll leave that right there, and I think we all got enough sense to make sense of what she was saying without me trying to have to do the shit. What she said don't sound too. It don't. You're not putting black men down. You ain't saying nothing wrong. But you take somebody like, you take a man that competes with women, and you take a man who gets defeated by women, and you make that the topic, then yeah. And then especially when you got somebody over here who beats women, and yeah, you basically, that premise can go unchecked, because Ash Bash is outnumbered. And just like with the shit with the flowers, she's gonna try to defend this shit as well. But shit, man, her voice is overpowered because it's 3 mooks and a whoop.
But the point is, there are different people who act different ways. I know black men who are multimillionaires. You would never know.
Yeah, don't generalize.
Whoa. Hold on. 6 and 8 said they swingers. Brandon is a swinger. Yeah, you definitely gay. You. Hold on. Sexy Nay is cooking right now. I've never seen him with no ring on. Hey, that's what I seen Sexy Nay. Sexy Nay say he always yelling at someone off camera. Never see it. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know if I've ever seen her in the camera, but I have seen him mute the shit, and it seemed like he be going off on somebody in the background. Yo, the plot thickens. He one of them. Oh man, yeah, he gave him up. Right, don't let me say that. But if he out here swinging, you out here swinging, huh? Let's go.
It's a lot of black dudes.
This is a freak ass podcast. I'm gonna say that. Ash Bash, I hope you got them roots. I hope you wrap yourself up in them roots before you get up in there and you are protected by your spirits and shit, because them is some demonic energy in that motherfucking room. I'm gonna say that right now.
For millionaires like in Inglewood and stuff, and you over there dueling and shit, you wouldn't even know this dude is balling, bro. Stop. She is just giving she's like validating stereotypes, right, about black men.
I'm gonna back this up because I kind of got off topic for a second. He's saying some bullshit right now, but I also want to say, Section that said, if you as a wife for your husband to be up there giving other motherfuckers flowers is strange, man. Like, goddamn. Let's go.
But your ex-husband up here.
I have no interest in that. I only require submission, wouldn't it?
That's her problem. She's great people or so egotistical that making your man feel, like super or great or superior. Yeah. If that offends you, that's a you problem.
That would require submission, wouldn't it?
But a statement of fact is not an admission of offense. You get what I'm saying? So if I look outside, I say a lot of motherfuckers out there. I say, man, there's a whole lot of people outside. That don't mean I got a problem with it being a whole lot of people outside. I'm just acknowledging there's a lot of people outside, for better or for worse. So this is where the more you talk, the more you reveal yourself. Now he finna start. Let's listen.
That's her problem. She don't want to submit to a black man. So she said, like,
That's her problem. She don't want to submit to a black man. You don't know nothing about this woman, but you come up here with all these definitive. You feel me? You out here talking about, oh no, you don't want to submit to a black man, and how the fuck would you know? Where are you getting any of that shit? This motherfucker, they say he has his nuts so tight to where they can't breathe. He look like he cross dresses right along with that voice. Man, look. That's why I said those jeans are nasty. Those jeans are disgusting. Grinder got way too much cut on his jeans, and Butcher Bear ain't got enough cut on his. Yeah, but you got a point. His jeans do be having him by the balls, and maybe that do be like fucking with his thought process and making it hard for him to, you know what I'm saying, think in a straight line. Maybe that's what it is.
I'll submit, but I'll only submit to a white man.
So I watched the episode live. The episode that your
ex-husband up here.
I have no interest in that. I watched the episode.
I thought that was jeans. Yeah. I thought that was some cheap Fashion Nova stretchy jeans.
That you're referring to, and the conversation was very interesting, and I brought it up last week and had her re-explain herself just for some clarification. And as far as her disposition, she's saying that if a black man makes $100,000 or around that amount of money,
which is what we all make,
they act pretty pompous. They kind of act like
you don't make. I don't know what you make. I don't know what you make. I'm gonna let him say that again, y'all, because we don't know what the fuck they make.
If a black man makes $100,000 or around that amount of money,
which is what we all make.
Where you make that at? No jumper? Is that why you wanted X amount of dollars and X amount of appearances a week? Is that why you on a day in LA for free? Because, wait a minute. I need to understand this shit, because in my mind, Brandon don't smoke. They don't do him. That's my mind. I could be wrong. But I know the only the sponsor they got a King Palm sponsorship. What the fuck is you? Let's go, man. Let's fucking go.
They act pretty pompous. They kind of act like they Jay-Z or they're
when we done here, we might have to go look at your goddamn channel and see what the views and shit is looking like, and we'll juxtapose that with the industry standards and see if maybe if we can cancel out whether you doing that from YouTube alone. Matter of fact, I apologize. Let me take all that the way back, because some people, like myself, people have careers outside of this shit. So maybe he's an engineer. Maybe he does some real shit. Who knows? Who knows? All I know is, you ain't, yeah, I'm off that. Let's go.
XYZ, but if she dated a white guy or a Hispanic guy or Asian guy who makes that same amount of money, he's just casual with it. That's her disposition.
How does she know?
Maybe she's dating outside her race before.
He a vigilante, 6 and 8.
Yeah, but the point is, there are different people who act different ways. I know black men who are multimillionaires. You would never know.
Yeah, don't
like,
generalize.
It's a lot of black dudes who are millionaires, like in Inglewood and stuff. And you over there at Doolins and shit, you wouldn't even know this dude is balling, bro. Stop. She is just giving she's like validating.
My bad, y'all. Let's back this up. Hold on. 6 and 8 said in his last 2 videos, he was taking his time out to make those videos while he was at work, and he was sitting in a park with a playground behind him. He a park ranger? What he do? What the fuck he do? He a city worker? Well, he don't work at the park. He'd have a city vehicle, right? This man so full of shit.
Casual with it. That's her disposition.
How does she know?
Maybe she's dating outside her race
She's
before.
not pink meat then. But the point is, there are different people who act.
What's so funny? Rich Grinder, you really, man, why you laughing? We ain't, let's go.
Different ways. I know black men who are multimillionaires. You would never know.
Yeah, don't
generalize. It's
generalize.
a lot of black dudes who are millionaires, like in Inglewood and stuff. And you over there at Doolins and shit, you wouldn't even know this dude is balling, bro. Stop.
Now that's a fact. I do know. I got family. All of my family that's that lived in LA was over there in Inglewood, balling. And that's a fact. But that is contrary to the thoughts and views that you ever expressed as it relates to black people. And I just want to point that out. And this is the issue. How you mix and fix this shit. Because in one breath, you'll sit up there and say, niggas ain't shit. Niggas ain't getting no money. Why you want to be in the hood, Inglewood? Y'all want to do Halloween and all this shit that you be saying. But when it serves you, you'll tell the truth. When it serves you in a different sense to do some more devious shit, spread a different type of fallacious rhetoric, now you're using truths that will support it. And this is why you can't take nothing a motherfucker like him saying serious.
She is just giving she's like validating stereotypes, right, about black men, right? And what makes it suck is she'll glorify a degenerate gangbanger and be like, oh, that's the homie. And like, she'll cheer on that. But a black man who's feeling himself because he's working hard every day and making good money is a problem. You are a bad wench. And she's jealous of
the person she's talking about defending, he was defending Munchie B. I don't know if we're gonna get there today. Munchie B's gonna call in on this episode. He hears what he's saying right now, specifically that right there. Where motherfucker sitting up there saying, oh, she defending degenerates and shit when she was speaking up for Munchie B. And what you were saying on that live at No Jumper about him in regards to him is vastly different than what you gonna be saying when he called in. But we're gonna get there. Let's go.
the black man, because for whatever reason, she is not qualified to be with a real black man. So she has to get,
Mickey Knox, what it do?
She has to dwell among the.
In your opinion now, in my opinion, I feel like it was the optic. It was the optic of her sitting next to Adam saying that out loud. Like, I feel like she's entitled to feel that way. Her disposition, she's entitled. But I personally wish that she didn't voice that while sitting directly next to Adam in that format.
It looks crazy her sitting next to.
I could agree with that. Now, see, here's the thing, right? And this is where I say I do fuck with Dejan a little bit, because in instances like that, he grounds it back in reality. Where Brandon just took it all around the moon and put all kind of bullshit on it. It really just comes down to it didn't sound that well, her saying that in front of the people she said it in front of. In any other environment, it would have been normal, acceptable, rhetoric. But even with that, when you a motherfucker like Brandon, where it's narrative driven and it's your narrative driven, that whatever it is, you just gonna, any information that comes up, you just use that to further cement, your philosophy into why you feel the way you feel. Let's go.
Adam being so, I'm not saying she is, I ain't saying she ain't, but being outwardly looking to be pro-black and all that kind of stuff. We know that Adam don't really give a damn about what happened to black people or the black community. It look crazy. And it gives this Adam was talking shit.
But taking the husk of her being pro-black, whether she's pro-black or not, just a black woman sitting next to Adam, a white man, and giving any sort of disparaging commentary towards black men as it pertains to dating life. I can see how you could see it, how you see it. My only challenge to you is there other verbiage outside of bed wench that you could label that? Is there another way to
Right, because using that verbiage, particularly given its definition and its history, is just as bad, if not way worse, than what you're accusing her of.
Address that situation without being so cutthroat and dire, like you're a bad witch. Is there any other communication we can have?
Bad witch is the textbook definition of what she's doing.
There's no alternative in the lexicon.
No, because if it was like, women might say she's a pick-me, but a pick-me just want to be picked by anybody. She's literally, if we went back to the 1800s and you was like, she did this, well, that's a bad witch.
So you said she panhandling for white.
Yo, That lacks no nuance. That lacks any nuance. This motherfucker, bro, we not here to do this. But I'm going to say this. Context matters, y'all. Context truly matters. And I'm going to back this up again before I say what I'm going to say. I want y'all to hear that again.
No, because if it was like, women might say she's a pick-me, but a pick-me just want to be picked by anybody. She's literally, if we went back to the 1800s and you was like, she did this, well, that's a bad witch.
So you said she's panhandling for white attention.
So what about you? What about everything you do? What about your black fatigue? What about your championing of motherfuckers like Anton Daniels? What about every fucking thing you say on No Jumper? But you're gonna isolate yourself from this, and with that, you're gonna isolate everything else about this woman's what she's about, what she presents. You're gonna isolate all that, and you're gonna dial it into this. Oh no, she said. So she's a bed wench, and she don't like black men. She hates black men, and all this type of shit. That's what I'm saying. People like this, you can't take nothing they're saying serious, because everything they're doing is trying to. Is built on bullshit, on manipulative rhetoric, and the concern becomes why. Why are you doing this? Now we know that you started out attacking Tariq Nasheed. You was his enemy, and we know what he was. Well, I'm not as familiar as him, but when Tariq Nasheed first hit the scene, I was a heavy supporter of everything he was doing. And even still, it's not that I'm not, but why were you the agent of chaos with him? Why? Like, you got to pay attention to where these motherfuckers pop up and where their intent is aimed, and couple that with the rhetoric that they use and what they saying. That's why I do these, or that's why I do the mob talks where we explain, I try to break down rhetoric and how communication is used to distort shit. Let's go.
Not panhandling. It's like the chick on Django. Remember the black chick who dated Monster Candy? The chick who was like taking care of? That's a bad wench. She walk in amongst the niggas and be like, I'm floating above all y'all because of my proximity to the white man.
To shoot some bail, do you think that all...
That's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. Not the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life, but that's some dumbass shit to say right there. To even say that, it just underscores how fucking... This underscores why you're not like us. You are working for them. We know what you doing. You calling her a bed wench and all this shit because she really has. I'm trying to find the words to put together to articulate what I'm saying. It's like she's good. She's her logic, her what she's saying, what she brings to the table offers a net positive. Like I say, my only critique is I wish she wasn't at No Jumper no more. I'm ready for her post No Jumper era. But outside of that, she adds value based on the thoughts that she has. She's adding value. You on the other side, the thoughts that you have, it may add value for the platform, for views, for engagement and shit like that. But for the advancement of a people, for the insights, for the what a motherfucker can take away from it, you're a net negative all the way across the board. And from here, we're gonna find this. Let me find where Munchie B called in and check him, because at this point, it's we'll be, like I said, I'll be reacting to 2 hours and 35 minutes of this shit if I let this shit go on any further.
And then they on the Adam Wax.
It might be good. The most dangerous ones got the best food.
Let's see. Let me pull. I'm gonna show y'all a trick too. This is what you do. If you're trying to find something, you go down, you hit that transcript, hit Control F, and then we can put in Munchie B. Wait. Control F. Wait. Oh, it's down here at the bottom. I'm on Firefox. Munchie.
All right, so speaking of No Jumper, Munchie B and Baby Runner have been beefing. They have two diss records a piece towards each other. Papa Got Beats is doing Munchie's beats, and then DJ Flip is doing Baby Runners. Did you guys check out the records? I listened to one before the show.
I like both of them. Honestly, this is my first time being introduced to Runner, so I do like his cadence. You feel me? But the last one that Munchie dropped, I did like.
Like Runner won the second round as far as the exchanges. To me, Munchie Loki sounds like a Blood Draco, if that makes any sense.
I don't want to say it, but
I hear some remnants. I hear some remnants. Not like a whole song. Yeah,
it's the cadence of the beat. Like I feel like how the beat.
First one we was listening to.
Like how the beat. Like, you know, the beat is the vibe of the song. So if the beat sound like some mystical type shit.
Damn. All right, y'all. Y'all got to vote. Let's get a poll.
There we go. Sorry that took so long, y'all.
Just because you're not having luck in the dating market, that makes you a bad winch.
Yeah, Brandon.
Like, you know how many people watch that Snoop Dogg thing just because of what he said a few months
ago? You're going to see God once you're 25. Some form of disclaimer. Like, all day parental advisory.
Even the Red Bull can't tell you this shit don't give you.
All right, and we're gonna wrap it up. After this, we're gonna wrap it up for here, so y'all can get on back to y'all regular schedule program. We just gonna go through Munchie B calling in and checking Butcher Bell Brown. Now we've heard the rhetoric. We didn't hear all of it, but we heard all the disparaging commentary he had on Tam and how she's only trying to defend degenerates and she's a bad wench and all of this and that. And for the record, the degenerate that he was claiming that she was defending was Munchie B. So Munchie B calls in to see about it. And let's see how this goes. Let's see if the ex-Crip black belt, man, let's go.
Answer, Munchie B's calling.
Hello. You on podcast live and we can hear you.
What's the deal?
No. What's up, Brandon? What you keep talking as degeneracy? What you talking about?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon.
I mean, if you...
Man, back up. Watch this motherfucker. Watch him. Watch his body language.
Talking as degeneracy. What you talking about?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon.
I mean, if you feel like you're a degenerate, then...
You said the Tam taking up for the degenerate.
Yeah, hey, look, if you feel like you're a degenerate, that's not my issue.
No, like, what are you talking about then?
Listen, the degenerate...
That's, if you feel like you're a degenerate, that's not my issue. Direct it, so you ain't gonna put no address on it. First off, so you're not gonna put no address on it, bro. Let's.
Do you feel like if you feel like you're a degenerate, I was talking about you.
If you thought if you think you're a degenerate, then I was talking about you. Only if you think you're a degenerate, not if I think you're a degenerate. I'm not going to tell you who I think the degenerate was that we was talking about at that time, because we was talking about somebody very specific. But all of a sudden, if you feel like you're a degenerate, only and only if you feel like you're a degenerate. But let's go.
I'm telling you just straight up, if you feel like you're a degenerate, I'm talking about you. I don't know. Look, do I consider you to be a degenerate? I talked about you're an intelligent dude just a few minutes ago. I said that.
Hey, look. In the same breath, he ain't give Munchie B a chance to talk before he made sure to clarify that, though. If you think you are a degenerate, then yeah, I'm talking about you. However, I don't think you're a degenerate. I just said I thought you were an intelligent guy. Let's go, man.
All right.
He also did compliment your music. I will say that.
His music, he's an intelligent dude. But if you feel like you're a degenerate,
6 and 8, he ain't see that phone call coming. He ain't realize. Look, thing is, he know he want to go back up there to No Jumper again. He know he want to. And with that, He don't want no situations when he do run across somebody like Munchie B or somebody who appreciates Munchie B. He want to make sure that that's smooth and all that shit. So all that tough shit, that motherfucker rah shit motherfucker was just doing on the when he was talking about her being a degenerate and all that shit. All that's gone now. All that's, you tried to repackage it in a way to where the person who's not being talked to may not be able to see through it. They may think that, oh, you still keeping that same energy. But if a motherfucker tell me, hey, if I say, hey, man, do you think I'm a degenerate? And you tell me, man, I say, man, I heard you call me a degenerate. Do you think you called me a degenerate? I think I heard that. And you tell me, nah, if you think you're a degenerate, then I'm talking about you, but I think you're intelligent. Well, to me, that you just will say, nah, I don't think you're a degenerate. No, I wasn't talking about you. That's the response. That's the same response. But you want to come across as if you didn't tuck your tail. Man, let's go.
No, somebody said, like you said, oh, Tam taking up for degenerates. But I'm like, I don't know who he was talking about, though.
Yeah, I just said you're intelligent and I love your music. You bitch ass. What the fuck? Hell no.
Takes up for any degenerate. She takes up for almighty suspects. She takes up for any gang member. So I look at her as a person who's simple. I don't even think she really takes up for them. I think she just feels she doesn't feel threatened by them because she thinks she's better than them.
Do you think Munchie B is a degenerate? Yes or no?
Yeah, direct that shit. Everybody in this room seeing through this shit except for this. Man, look. The competitor, the beater, the defeated.
I think Munchie used to be a degenerate.
The pause was on this motherfucker's whole facial expression. Look very weird. Looks like a fucking weirdo. Don't be around no women. I don't know, man. This motherfucker look devious. That's a devious face right there. I don't trust it.
I think now he goes to school and talks to children about avoiding gang life. He makes good music. He's a pretty good podcaster. He's a reformed degenerate, just like me.
What do you say to that, Munchie?
No, I don't think he's a degenerate. He's a reformed degenerate, just like me. You bitch. He's a reformed degenerate, just like me. You ain't nothing like Munchie B. Munchie B show ain't nothing like you. Let's fucking go.
Shout out to Tam, man. Shout out to Tam.
No. Bro, stop it, man. This is what kills me. Listen, even when Tam said the shit, what make her a bad wench? Listen, she is a bad wench. Let me tell you, even when she said what she said in front of Adam, you even had a reaction to it because what she was doing was she said she was going to start dating white men and immediately started putting down black men.
No, she didn't say white.
She did.
No, she said no.
She didn't, and she intentionally knew what she. This is why. A piece of why I kind of like Tam, because even when she did that, and let for clarity, y'all, I only watch No Jumper at 2x speed so that I can find content that's worth highlighting and underscoring the predacious and negative atmosphere over there and its inherent net negative impact on our culture. That's stuff. I just wanted to preface that with that. Let's go.
I'm black. No matter what, it wasn't black. She didn't say white specifically.
She said she wasn't gonna date black.
6 and 8. He's the most known unknown when it comes to the gang shit. Like I say, I don't believe it. I believe he's infatuated with his father's lifestyle, and maybe he has some cousins that was participating in shit like that. He never participated in hindsight. You can sit up there and curate a whole backstory. Like Jay-Z said, these motherfuckers they scribbled in their notepad. They history is some shit that they wrote down in their notepad, man. That's all.
She said that black men who make the money, this is what she said, black men who make the money I make want to be treated like Jesus. My thing is this, like I said before, if you can date whoever you want to, but don't start putting down black men just because you're not having luck in the dating market. That makes you a bad wench. Well, that's what she gonna be doing when she get with a white man.
Don't you want to be at that goddamn plantation bad than a motherfucker, though? Ain't you calling in to that bitch every time they live so that you can get your thoughts off on the plantation's platform? Like I said, you the bad wench. You want the pink meat. You trying to chew some pink meat. But you round the wrong gay motherfuckers. Well, from what I seen, what I hear, Rich Trapper like pink meat too. But, man, bro, man, let's go.
A bad wench is the one who willingly did it.
Like the motherfucker that called me. No, niggers aren't any. Bro, shit. Damn, hope they don't get me for that. Negroes ain't this, Negroes ain't that. And all on the white man platform. All on it. But you gonna sit up here and call her a bed wench because the worst thing she said that is a nigga that make $100,000 is gonna act like he make $100,000. It ain't nothing wrong with that. Just opposing it or comparing it to a person of a different nationality who may not act like that, first of all, is a lie. It's a fucking lie. You ain't never met a boastful motherfucker until you done met a Mexican or a white motherfucker with a little bit of money, with that range that you talking about. You think about a nigga gonna put extras on it, bro. You don't. But see, your whole intent is crafting a specific and concise narrative that you can't consider nuances or include any actual facts outside of very small, minute details that would give credit to your premises. Because if you actually take what you're saying and just address the facts of what you're saying, it's fundamentally wrong, bro. What you're saying is a lie. What you're saying is a lie. And what she's saying, oh shit. I think I just kind of well, I said what I said, and that's where we at. Let's finish this.
You never saw Django, the black lady who dated Monster Candy? There were slaves who willingly fucked
They got certain perks.
And they got
even
perks
in 12 years a slave. Alfred Woodard played a bad one.
You see this shit, bro? Now he's sitting up here saying that the slaves, they were bed wenches and they chose to be bed. What the fuck are you talking about? So when you say a motherfucker chose to be a bed wench, what was the choice? What was the other option, Brandon? When you say, this is why you need your ass whooped. This is why when you really start to thinking it out and thinking about what he's saying, you really need your ass. You need a foot in your ass for the disgusting and despicable shit that comes out your mouth. We're going to get through this shit. And we're going to wrap this up because now I'm getting mad. Let's go.
But she has certain privileges.
One thing we're not debating is history. I learned, no, I've been knew what a bad witch was since I was little. I knew a bad witch, I knew what a bad witch was when I was.
Fact section day. He dear Darla. Dear Tam, I hate your stinking guts. You make me vomit. You're like the scum between my toes. Yeah, he hates definitely. All three of them is members of the He-Man Woman Hating Club. And this Alfalfa right here, he like women, but he'll beat on them. Well, let's go, man.
Little. And the issue that makes Tam a bad witch is the fact that when they brought up dating outside her race, she immediately said yes because and started trying to talk about all these negative stereotypes about black men.
I think it was her sitting next to Adam having something to say about black men and her dating experiences. Look bad. It just looked bad, but if she said that, not around Adam, if she said that sitting with a bunch of sisters having some drinks, I understand her. But her saying it sitting right next to Adam, I see how straight black men.
So the point I just made, so I do disagree with Tam. But and like I say, it means, yeah, okay, it's more impactful. It's not resonates, that's the wrong word, but it hits harder when you say it on a white man's platform sitting beside one. But with that, at least right now being the only instance, I'm not finna sit up there and wrap you up in that jacket when everything else you have said or come across, it's all been, you know what I'm saying? I just can't do that. You know what I mean? So no, I definitely disagree with the premise that white men, that black men are the only ones who make 100-some thousand, and they gonna, you know, I disagree with that premise. With Tam, but I way much more disagree with how Brandon is trying to make that her identity. Like that's just, you know what I mean? Make that's her stance. That's the hill that she dies on. But why? Why are you trying to make that? I think it's because outside of Lush, who was the junkie up there, no jumper, well, suspect makes great points. She's bringing substance. She's bringing thoughts and opinions that are worthy, for lack of better words. And you don't like that for us. That don't make us look bad enough. You know what I mean? So you need to sit up there and shit on her, because your purpose is to stir chaos in our communities and make sure that we looked at in a bad light. So anybody that's coming around and making us look good or saying shit that is counter that narrative is an enemy to you. It's obvious. That's why you don't like a Tariq Nasheed. That's why he reached out to people and tell them, man, don't even engage with this agent of chaos. But see, I'm on a much smaller platform than you. So people like me, yeah, I'm gonna get it. It serves me well to serve you, you big fat gay motherfucker.
And could be offended by it, but we've already talked about that.
When Tam get in mixed company, she start cooning, nigga. That's full stop.
I'm not gonna say all that. I'm not gonna say all that. Shout out to Tam. Shout out to Tam. I'm gonna just say it looked crazy with her saying that sitting right next to Adam. That's
right. I want to see your wife. Give it enough time, though. See, this is what I see, Section A. When you give it enough time, because we see what's going on behind the scenes, but we don't, in front of the scenes, but we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. But everything done in the dark comes to light. We see with the We Starving motherfucker, the Nazi motherfucker, that was Adam 22's right-hand man, and they was all cahoots while all the bullshit, they was spreading the information, all that, sharing their thoughts and then all that shit with each other. And when it blew up, we got the information. People, and I say that to say people like them, like these individuals who are despicable, disgusting people, the people that they have around them are usually just as so or victims of that. And I say that to say once that era, or once that comes to an end, you better believe, because they are what they are, or be it the victim or the just as negative and type of person that they are, you better believe they're going to come out and let the world know about it. So I fully believe that in time, we will learn a whole lot more than we know now about this Boochie Bear Brown character.
He had a reaction to it. That's why he had an immediate knee-jerk reaction to it.
I'm trying to remember what Munchie said.
He was like, oh, why you got to say that?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Her list, her rules is too strict?
Yeah, she probably strict.
Her requirements, her requirements.
Yeah.
What's wrong with having high standards?
Rich Trapper said that you don't match her. No, I don't think.
Rich Trapper joke. We know you beat women, you hate women. I think your real issue with women is that, and I ain't gonna lie to y'all, this is just me talking shit. I don't really believe this, but I partially think it possible. I think Rich Trapper, because he likes men, but society wants him, or he expects society to want him to like women. It creates this disdain or hatred towards this women's existence, purely because, you know what I'm saying, he has to promote this facade that, you know what I mean, that's what he attracted to y'all, when he really is disgusted. You know what I mean? Because anything disparaging about women, anything, he just got this demeanor. keeps laughing or smirking or got some weird ass comment to add into it. It's like, ain't nobody even talking about you or to you. What the fuck are you even? Let's go.
He's not saying that.
I said, it sounds like you saying her standards too high. Her standards don't match her. She better be realistic with this shit. But be realistic. Yeah,
Let's get to part 3 of this back and forth with Runner.
Hey, Munchy. I got you a baby Runner 1-1.
Nah, Munchy, don't even talk to him. He was over here dick riding Runner and all that. Like, yeah, he was Runner got this. Runner left.
Tell the truth. Shame the devil, ass bash. Like, nobody gives a fuck about your rap opinion. You know what I mean? And right there is where we're gonna wrap this motherfucker up, y'all. I think that's everything that needs to be discussed. I mean, anything further, because we could react to the whole fucking live and it just be stop and go the whole damn time. I think for now, for today, we can call this a day. I appreciate everybody that then tuned in today. If you ain't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel. A heads up, I'm gonna be out of the office for the next week. In my absence, one second, let me turn this pressure. In my absence, I'm gonna try to do some pre-recorded shit so that I can have it scheduled. But there will be no lives next week. However, I'm gonna try to get a pre-recorded stream that's not related to current events, so it won't be outdated by next Friday, that I can schedule for premiere next week. But that's just a heads up. Like I say, y'all, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, man, like, subscribe, all that good shit. And with that being said, oh, also, shout out to everybody that was in the chat today. Shout out Sexy Nate, Speedboat, Mickey Knox, man, everybody that tuned in. Jumbie, man, salute all y'all. Jumbie got 2 fighters. We are, how many weeks away we is? 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Not next weekend, but the following weekend. Jumbie got 2 fighters gonna be fighting in the UFC Apex. I don't got the title of what number that is, but they gonna be doing their shit. Make sure you go tap in with that. And with all that being said, we gone.
Mop whack, what's happening with you? Mop whack, mop whack, mop whack.